Before we begin, I want to say something quietly, honestly, not as a creator, but simply as one human being speaking to another. This video isn't meant to be judged in the first few seconds. It was made to unfold slowly, the way real understanding always does. If you stay until the end, you give meaning the time it needs to reach you fully. So, take a breath. Let the outside world soften for a moment. Release the urgency, the noise, the need to decide quickly. For the next few minutes, nothing is demanded of you. This space is yours. Hello, dear. How often do we truly ask ourselves why we're drawn to certain people? Why, despite everything we've lived through, the same type appears again and again? Or why one unreachable image can live silently inside the heart for years? In psychology, there are no accidents. The heart is precise. Who we're attracted to says less about them, and much more about us, about our unspoken needs, our accumulated exhaustion, our hunger for safety, or for excitement. Your attention follows inner currents long before logic steps in. And today, we listen to those currents. This isn't just a test. It's an invitation inward. We're not speaking about astrology. We're not speaking about fate. We're speaking about your psychological needs, right here, right now. At this stage of your life, allow yourself to move slower and listen. In front of you are 6 masculine energies, 6 archetypal forms. Don't analyze them through reason, convenience, or social expectation. Don't ask which one is right or reasonable. Only notice the first impulse. Where does your attention go before you explain it? When you're ready, we begin. Let your breath stay slow as we step into the first energy. This archetype is often called the protector or the caregiver. He is not loud, not dramatic, not demanding. His strength doesn't need a stage. It's quiet strength, reliable presence, the kind of steadiness that holds the room without trying to control it. And if this archetype pulled your attention first, your soul is speaking clearly. You are tired, not only physically, but existentially. Tired from being the strong one. Tired from being the responsible one. Tired from carrying what other people never even notice you're carrying. This choice reveals a deep longing for safety and for rest. Not the kind of rest that comes from sleep alone, but the kind that comes from finally not having to stay alert all the time. It's the desire to loosen your grip, to stop being the one who always holds everything together, to be cared for without having to explain why you need it, without guilt, without feeling like you must earn tenderness through competence, to be accepted not only when you're capable, but also when you're soft, to finally exhale. But this archetype also brings a question, one you can only answer with honesty. Are you ready to release control, not just temporarily, but deeply? Or will your own strength rebel the moment you hand the role to someone else? Because protection can become 2 very different things. It can become a safe refuge, or it can become a golden cage. Sometimes the very thing we crave, being held, feels unfamiliar when we've survived by holding ourselves. So sit with that for a moment. If you chose the protector, your soul may be saying, I don't want to fight anymore. I want to feel safe enough to be human. I want love that doesn't require performance. And now, gently, we move forward. Now, feel the shift. The second archetype carries a completely different weight. This is the warrior, the hero, the conqueror. His energy is not quiet. It is directional, active, driven by purpose. He doesn't wait. He moves. He is shaped more by action than by presence. And if this archetype captured your attention first, your soul is not asking for rest. It is asking for recognition. Because somewhere inside you, something may feel unseen, not necessarily unloved, but overlooked. Like you've been reduced to a function, a role, a responsibility, instead of being experienced as a woman with a living inner world. Routine may have dimmed something bright in you, and this choice reflects a desire to feel chosen, openly, to feel claimed without hesitation. Not only loved, but pursued. You want to feel that someone would fight for you, reach for you, rise for you. You want intensity, movement, a sense that life is happening again, right now. The warrior brings decisiveness, ambition, forward momentum. He knows where he's going, and he expects you to follow. Life with this energy can feel charged, purposeful, almost cinematic in its direction, but rarely quiet. And the shadow of this archetype often hides in constant motion, because where there is always a battle, there is little rest. Where achievement dominates, intimacy can become conditional. You may start to feel that love is something you must keep earning by staying impressive, desirable, worthy, good enough. So here's the question this archetype places in your hands. Are you seeking passion, or are you escaping silence? Are you craving movement because it's exciting, or because stillness would make you face what you've been avoiding? Sit with that gently. No judgment, just truth. Because your first attraction is always honest, even when it reveals something tender. And now, we move again. Now the ground becomes less stable. The third archetype is the trickster, the provocateur, the eternal youth. This energy is playful, unpredictable, magnetic. He doesn't promise safety. He doesn't promise structure. He promises one thing, to feel alive. And if you were pulled toward this archetype, your soul may be deeply bored. Not surface-level boredom, but the kind that quietly suffocates. Your life may look stable, correct, well-organized. But something inside you has been pressed down by predictability. This attraction is often a rebellion of the unconscious, because you're not looking for a partner in the traditional sense. You're looking for an accomplice, someone who breaks the rules, bends time, interrupts routine, someone who reminds you that you are still alive, still desirable, still capable of wonder. This archetype awakens youth. Life around him can feel cinematic, spontaneous, intoxicating, emotionally charged. There is laughter, risk, passion, intensity, and yet, rarely continuity. Because the trickster is not built for responsibility. He lives in moments, not commitments, and what begins as exhilaration can slowly become instability. A relationship can start to feel like fireworks, beautiful, bright, and gone too quickly. So this archetype asks you something important. Are you seeking joy, or are you seeking escape? Are you craving play because it brings light back into you, or because your real life feels too heavy to face? Pause here for a breath. Notice what moved inside you when you heard this. Relief, recognition, excitement, or discomfort. All of them are valid signals. Your unconscious already answered honestly. We're only giving it language. And now, We step into the next energy. If your attention moved toward the fourth archetype, something in you is speaking from a place of deep psychological maturity. This is not the energy of conquest, not drama, not escape. This is the energy of presence, someone who stays. When this archetype resonates, your soul is no longer begging for intensity and no longer dreaming of rescue. You are tired of emotional turbulence, tired of power struggles, tired of needing to prove yourself inside love. You don't want to impress, and you don't want to be impressed. You want to be understood. You want an equal. This choice reflects a longing for a shared life, not a performance. Long conversations that drift past midnight. Comfortable silences that don't need to be filled. A relationship where you can arrive exactly as you are and not be punished for it. This archetype offers stability without domination, care without control. Here, love shows itself through consistency, attention, reliability, emotional availability. It isn't flashy, but it lasts. It's the kind of bond that strengthens with time, because it isn't built on adrenaline. It's built on trust. And yet, this choice carries a subtle challenge. If your nervous system was shaped by chaos in the past, calm can feel unfamiliar. You might mistake peace for boredom. You might confuse anxiety with passion, simply because anxiety is what you learned to recognize. So this archetype asks you gently, are you ready to stop confusing intensity with love? Are you ready to let something steady become beautiful? Because sometimes the deepest love doesn't arrive like a storm. It arrives like a quiet room, where your body finally stops bracing. Hold that truth for a moment, and then we move into the next energy. Now feel the air change. The fifth archetype carries a wind that doesn't stay in one place. This is the traveler, the seeker, the free spirit. His energy is expansive, curious, untethered. He doesn't belong to routine. He doesn't belong to fixed structures. He belongs to movement. And if this archetype drew you in, your soul is asking for space. You may feel confined by roles, expectations, obligations. Life may have become too narrow, too defined, too tight around you. Something inside you needs air. And this is important. Sometimes it's not even the desire for a partner. It's the desire to escape. The traveler represents freedom, possibility, the right to change direction. He reminds you that you are more than your responsibilities, and that life can still surprise you. With this energy, inspiration returns, curiosity returns, creativity returns, spontaneity returns. You start to feel like yourself again. But stability is not guaranteed, because the traveler cannot be possessed. He cannot be held like a plan. He resists permanence, not out of cruelty, but out of nature. So the question here isn't whether this energy is good or bad. The real question is, are you seeking shared freedom, or are you running from containment? Do you want someone who walks beside you without a leash, or do you want someone who gives you an excuse to disappear? And this archetype also asks something deeper. Can you love someone without trying to anchor them? Can you allow movement without interpreting it as abandonment? Sit with that gently, because if you chose the traveler, your soul might be whispering, I need room to breathe. I need to remember who I am. I need life to feel open again. And now, we arrive at the final archetype. Now we step into the most complex energy of all. The sixth archetype is the distant presence, inaccessible, enigmatic, difficult to read. The one who fascinates through absence, cold intellect, emotional restraint, deep inner world. A man who does not reveal himself easily. And if this archetype captured your attention, your psyche may be drawn to the challenge. You are not attracted to what comes easily. You're pulled toward what must be earned, what feels rare, exclusive, almost unreachable. And this choice often reflects a belief that is nearly always unconscious, that love must be proven, that warmth comes after effort, that being chosen by someone unavailable would confirm your worth. And that is a dangerous seduction, because the distant one can carry brilliance, intelligence, depth, intensity. But his emotional availability may remain limited. You could spend years trying to open a door that was never meant to open. The risk here is emotional hunger, a slow starvation, waiting for small signals, interpreting crumbs as meals, calling longing love because longing is what you've learned to tolerate. And yet, this choice is not a defect. It reveals ambition, strength, a refusal to settle for what feels shallow. But it also asks for compassion toward yourself. So this archetype places one question in your hands. Are you seeking depth, or are you seeking validation? Are you drawn to mystery because it's truly meaningful, or because it keeps you chasing? Because chasing can feel like purpose, and purpose can feel like love. Pause. And now, look again at all 6 energies: protection, conquest, play, companionship, freedom, distance. 6 archetypes, 6 mirrors. There are no wrong choices. What pulled you in is simply your most honest answer right now, not your destiny. Your needs can change as your awareness grows. If you chose safety or calm, your soul may be asking for rest. If you chose intensity or play, your soul may be asking to feel alive. If you chose freedom, your soul may be asking for space. If you chose distance, your soul may be asking to feel exceptional. And here is the most important truth. Men are not the source of these needs. They are mirrors. They reveal what you have not yet fully given yourself. Because the deepest relationship of your life is not with any archetype. It is with you. And the moment you begin offering yourself care, admiration, freedom, or depth, the outer world reorganizes naturally. If one of these archetypes resonated with you, take a moment to acknowledge it. You can share in the comments which energy you felt most strongly and why. Your reflection may help someone else recognize herself. And if this kind of deep psychological exploration resonates with you, subscribing helps this space continue to exist. Not for noise, not for trends, but for meaning. And if someone came to mind while listening, share this video with them. It may offer a mirror they didn't know they needed. Thank you for staying present in a world that always rushes outward. Choosing to look inward is a powerful act.